is the rise of the dragon.
Wanakam. For me, my hockey journey started because my brother and I really wanted to play ice hockey, and then Mum made us try field hockey first because ice hockey was expensive and it's difficult to play in Australia as well. There aren't many ice rinks, so we tried field hockey, went to my club, Ryde Hunters Hill Hockey Club, and then just kind of stuck with it. Well, I never actually played ice hockey. I wanted to play. I watched a lot of ice hockey videos on like a cassette at home on Saturday morning, but I never actually played. I'd like to. It's testing my memory. 2013, I think it was the start of 2013. We beat Great Britain in the final, I'm pretty sure. And I remember that a couple of days that week, it was like 46 or 47 degrees. It was absolutely crazy, but it was cool because it was in Sydney, which is where I'm from. It was my hometown, so I had friends and family coming out to watch. And winning a tournament, any tournament, is fun, but especially winning one for your country is special. My first goal, I think it was my second game, I was injecting a penalty corner and I completely screwed it up. I think the ball went nowhere where it was supposed to go to. It was a corner breakdown, and then somehow the ball came back to me and I scored a very simple goal. So that was pretty funny. But yeah, it was also a super fun series. It was pretty unexpected, I think, to get the call up. I was quite young, and yeah, playing a home series in Australia, friends and family coming to watch, that was a pretty surreal moment. That was a really great year, actually. 2016, again, I'd spent a lot of 2015 injured. I think I moved to Perth and basically was injured the whole year. But 2016, just finding my feet in Perth, which is a long way from Sydney, I had a really great year. It was super fun. I learned a lot about hockey. I learned a lot about being part of a team and myself. And yeah, I didn't get to play in Rio, but yeah, I wouldn't change that year for anything. It was a really good experience. And also the cherry on top was being able to go and watch my first Olympics as well as a reserve. It taught me a lot about being able to contribute to a team in any way you can, even though you may not be on the field. Okay, so 2018 Com Games, that was another home series. I've been pretty lucky actually, being able to play so many important games at home, but that was at the Gold Coast. We had a really great team. It was quite a new team, I think. We kind of got together in 2017, and that was the early part of 2018. So we were figuring out how we would play. We had some amazing older players. Mark Knowles, our captain, played his final tournament there, so that was really cool for him. Although he did miss a stroke, I think, in the final, which would have been his last ever goal, and he never misses strokes as well. But yeah, that was amazing. A multi-sport event is really special. Being able to attend an event with a whole bunch of different athletes from different disciplines is really cool. And yeah, I mean, we were lucky enough to win at the end and celebrate with friends and family at home as well. So that was great. As for the 2018 World Cup, again, yeah, we'd lost Knowlesy, so we had a new kind of leadership structure. I think Aaron Zalewski and Eddie Okkanen were our two captains. That was another awesome tournament. I think we lost to Holland in the semi-final in a shootout, which was a bitter pill to swallow. But then we had a really good result against GB. I think we won 8-1 or something in the bronze medal game. So it was a pretty bittersweet ending, but the whole tournament was super fun. It was in Bhubaneswar, and playing in India is always just an amazing experience. So yeah, good lifelong memories. Yeah, I did. That was the last game. That was the bronze medal game. Yeah, I mean, none of the goals were particularly special. I think just sometimes when your team's playing well, you are in the right place at the right time, and that's definitely what happened. They were all scored within like 2 or 3 metres out. So, but yeah, I just remember that game being really fun because there aren't many games of note where you know you're going to win a while before the end of the game. So I think we went into the fourth quarter winning by 6 goals, maybe something like that. and it was clear that we were going to win. So the last quarter was just super fun. It had been a long year, it had been a long tournament, and just to kind of play a game like that with your friends, yeah, it's a very special memory. Yeah, that was a pretty difficult year. That was coming off the back of the pandemic. I had a couple of injuries coming into Tokyo. I've been out for quite a while, and yeah, getting there was awesome. I felt like I could get there and perform, and unfortunately the first game I did a hamstring that I'd done a couple of times previous to that. So that was pretty gutting. And then I effectively assumed another reserve role, I think, in Tokyo, which I'd had practice at, and it was still amazing. Like, again, at the Olympics, it was totally different to other Olympics with COVID and everything. But being able to kind of be there with the team and help out in any way I could, it was also cool because, yeah, it was I think maybe a 3-week injury, but you kind of, yeah, you get to figure out what your body is actually capable of when given a short time period. So I was just focusing on rehabbing and giving the option, if required, to be able to play in any of the medal games. Unfortunately, didn't quite get there, but yeah, it was again just an amazing experience with a great group of guys. That was yeah, crazy game. I think, especially because there was no one in the crowd. It's definitely not how you draw up an Olympic gold medal game looking when you're a kid. Completely empty stadium, all the rules around, you know, COVID and those sorts of things. But I think, like, it wouldn't be a stretch to say that over that period of time, us and Belgium, there'd been a lot of great teams, but us and Belgium had played each other a lot in big games, and I think we were kind of in the back of our minds in the lead up thinking that we would probably play Belgium in the gold medal game, and we did, and they were such a good team. They'd been a good team for a long time. Really, yeah, accomplished group, great players. And it was a game that kind of suited the lead up, really. Like, ended up in a shootout, which was unfortunate. Like, we really wish that extra time was still a thing, because the way that the game was being played, I think an extra 10 minutes of hockey or whatever would have been amazing for people to watch, because it was such a good game. And then in the end, decided by a shootout. But yeah, that was tough to watch, but also just, like, yeah, one of the proudest moments of my life that we got there as a team and came so close. But it was a longer break in between the 2018 and the 2023 World Cup, not the usual 4 years. Our team, yeah, grew a lot in that period of time. We had a successful Com Games in between and a few Pro Leagues. I think we maybe won one Pro League, I'm not sure. The World Cup was interesting. I think that was also one of the craziest games I've been a part of, was the semi-final against Germany. But we started the tournament really well. We played France in the first game. I think we had a really good game against them, and then yeah, we narrowly won the quarterfinal against Spain. I think they had a stroke to equalise, and it was saved, I think, by Andrew Charter, which was a crucial save. But that tournament could have been very different. Like, we could have easily gone home in the quarterfinals. I'm not sure that we ever really hit our straps. The Germany game, they scored, I think, 2 goals in the last minute and a half, which they did a few times, I think, that tournament, and they ended up winning the World Cup through, yeah, winning games like that. So they definitely did it the hard way and deserved it, but that was also a completely mad game. And to lose in regular time when there's, I don't know, 20 seconds left and you just know that there's nothing you can do to save your World Cup was, that was tough. And then we put out a pretty poor performance against the Dutch in the bronze medal game. And the Dutch played well, which could kind of be a fairly good indicator of what was to come in Paris. But yeah, that was a tricky tournament for sure. Yeah, Oceania Cup, we went to Whangarei, which was a cool place to go and visit. Again, 3 games against New Zealand to qualify for the Olympics. Anything can happen. We won the first one, lost the second one. So the third one was a decider. And yeah, honestly, yeah, anything could have happened. I think at that stage, if we'd lost, we had to go to a qualifying tournament, which I think was in Pakistan at that time. It ended up being in Oman, but that would have really changed how Christmas would have looked. I think had we lost that, we would have not had much of a break. We probably would have had to train through Christmas and then go to a tournament and try and qualify, which a lot of teams did. So winning that enabled us to have a bit more of a break and refresh for what was always going to be a really big year in 2024. But yeah, it's always tough. Like it's us on New Zealand, and we got obviously some mates in that team as well. So yeah, knowing that one of you is going to the Olympics and one of you isn't at the end of that tournament, it's always difficult. But fortunately, they got there as well. So yeah, yeah, super stoked. Just I think in the year and building up to the Hockey India League, there was a fair bit of anticipation around the community, hoping that it would come back. I was lucky enough to be involved with the last ever HIL, which was great for the sport, and I think it is such a good tournament for the sport and obviously for hockey in India. But yeah, when I found out that I was picked by the Dragons, I'd actually been to Tamil Nadu on a holiday when I was younger. So I'd been to Chennai, I'd been to Mamallapuram, I think that's how you say it. Hopefully that's how you say it, for a beach holiday. So it was pretty cool to be able to come back, and we ended up spending Christmas here, getting to know everyone, and that was a really fun time as well, fun time of the year. But yeah, didn't really know what to expect, to be honest. And yeah, it's been amazing. Such a good group of guys. Yeah, I think, I don't know, it's kind of hard being a little bit older and having played a bit of hockey, but it's kind of like, I just try and, I don't want other people to make the same mistakes that I've made, you know? That's kind of basically the short of it. Like, it takes such a long time to understand really simple things, honestly. It can take years of your career to understand something that, like, yeah, cognitively you should understand in a couple of seconds, but to really drill it in and feel it and know that, like, that's the best way to do something or something like that can take so many years. So I think a lot of it is just trying to, like, yeah, help people shortcut that journey, as I'm sure a lot of, like, the older guys did for me, for sure. I think that's just such an important part of hockey and other sports generally, but also because people come from, like, here, a lot of different communities, a lot of different cultures. There's different ways of thinking about things, and we're always talking about how you do it in India or how you do it in Germany or Holland or Ireland or the UK or anything like that. So there's a lot of good wisdom in the group, and hopefully by the end of the tournament, yeah, we all will have learned something or two things. Yeah, the chemistry is really good. We have a really good time together. As I mentioned, we had Christmas together, which is always a very good bonding experience. We had a great Christmas Eve and New Year's obviously as well together. So there's been a lot of moments where we've been away from family and loved ones, and obviously would have preferred to be on the other side of the world for some and missing people back home, but we didn't have them. We only had each other, so we kind of made it work, and that was kind of a nice bonding experience for everyone. And I think that's really showed in the way we played and the way it's continued here in Rockella. Yeah, well, I mean, from maybe not too far into the future, but Davey Hart. Also, like, some of the young guys in our team are unbelievable. Uttam has been playing incredible. He's owning the baseline. Shesha, who, despite winning Young Dragon of the Match, even though he's 31, had a great performance the other night, and he's just a complete animal. He's been so good to play with, but yeah, our squad is full of young guys who have amazing ability, and they're really starting to show it, which is great to see. Yeah, one of the yeah, interesting pieces of advice I was given from a coach when I was like 15, I think, was how to cheat and who to cheat off, which sounds funny, but really what he meant was take things from other people that you think could apply to you. Not everything works for everyone, but if you see a skill that someone does and you think that you could apply that to your game in a certain way, or the coach makes a really good point and you can take that into your kind of wheelhouse. If you kind of have that attitude, then you're learning from everyone. Yeah, in the hockey world, there have been just so many people who have contributed something or other to my game, definitely. But as for everything else, I mean, for sure, family, my parents have been incredible, my brother and sister, extended family, yeah, they've, I mean, taught me everything about everything, not just hockey, so incredibly grateful for them, and yeah, grateful for everyone who's contributed in some way in the journey, and there have been, yeah, countless people. Yeah, I think, well, put it this way, my brother and I were pretty close in age. My dad built a hockey goal for us out the back and put down some turf and a couple of boards and a net and stuff so we wouldn't destroy the house or anything like that. But we would spend hours in the backyard, a lot of days, playing like one-on-one hockey against each other. We'd come in with like, yeah, bruised shins, bleeding toes, probably crying. Like, we had a lot of competition growing up just between us, and yeah, that helped immensely, I'm sure. Also, just the fact that Dad built us that goal meant that I could spend a lot of time out there just hitting the ball at the goal, or flicking or pushing or anything like that. Like, that was kind of like a bit of a, it was really therapeutic, I reckon, like before when I knew what that meant. But after school, come home, grab a stick and just hit balls or push balls or practice like a skill for hours. That was my afternoon. I remember getting in trouble from the neighbours because like it wasn't a really big space we had, but I would be hitting the ball really hard and the backboard sounded really loud, so it'd be like two massive noise, just like relentless. So yeah, we copped it from the neighbours a bit, but also not as much as what we probably could have. So thanks to the neighbours as well for being gracious with your eardrums, I guess. But yeah, other than that, like, I think our family is great sport lovers. I'd spend a lot of the weekend watching sport. Yeah, a lot of rugby, and I guess that was kind of like learning different ways to do things as well. So yeah, I guess being patient enough to allow us to learn about the game, and also instilling a great love of sport is crucial. But also a love of team. Like, I love being part of a team. Like, that's my favourite part. So, and I think my family definitely really instilled that value as well. So yeah, that was pretty fun. That was again in the midst of COVID, looking for something to do. But we'd kind of spoken about it for a while with a couple of mates from my club in Sydney. Basically, at that time, we felt that there were amazing hockey stories to be told, but there was no one really telling them. Like, we didn't think that if you wanted to go and listen to a podcast about hockey, there wasn't one. And I think other sports do it so well. They really bring the stories of other athletes to the public so that people can aspire to be like them or something like that. And I had so many mates who I'd played with who I thought they inspired me, and they had amazing stories, and no one was really asking them their story, so they couldn't really share it. So that was basically the motivation, to share the stories of people who had incredible stories, and yeah, to bring that to the public. Basically, we kind of fizzled out a little bit, but we might be back, never know. Immediately, it would be to continue our momentum with the Dragons. We're playing really well at the moment. It would be really nice to play as well as we could at the end of the tournament. So that's the current goal. There's a lot of other hockey goals, you know, like, and most of them revolve around playing well as a team, and personally just to continue to improve. I guess, like, we don't really have that much time doing doing this, so it would be nice to look back on my career and say that yeah, I at least tried to improve all the time. I think that's all you can really ask. But whether you play well or not, it's not really up to you, but how you prepare and how much you try, it's definitely up to you. Professionally, yeah, I guess there's a life after hockey as well. Yeah, I'm lucky to be in a position that I've been able to study and work a little bit while playing hockey. So yeah, hopefully continue my professional career seamlessly after I finish playing hockey. Yeah. Nandari.